Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the Maserati MC20. Huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this exotic supercar for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. So this Maserati has a starting MSRP right around $243,000. This model is also finished off in blue Infinito. Now this is powered by a mid-engine 3-liter twin-turbo V6. It is paired to an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic. It pumps out 630 horsepower, 538 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 3,200-pound supercar from 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. It has a top speed of 202 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.9 gallons. You'll expect to see around 15 miles per gallon in the city, 25 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 106.3 inches. Its overall length is 183.8. It has a width of 77.4, a height of 48.1, and its ground clearance measures in right around 4 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling, this is a very unique looking vehicle, but it has some great lines to it, and especially finished off in blue, I think it really pops and gives it a great look. Now up front, you'll notice that this does have a set of LED headlights with a nice design for those housings. There's also sensors located up front. There's the Maserati Trident badge. There's one up top and then one in the middle of the grille there, where there's also a lot of cutouts to provide additional cooling, as well as some matte black trim accents to give it a good blend. Now up top, this also has functional heat extraction vents. You will notice those on the backside there with those contoured edges to give it a great look. We'll come back to the storage up front. There's no control to open that up from the key fob. So we'll come back to that here once we enter the inside. So as we work our way to the side, this has a really unique set of wheels. These are 20x9 in the front and 20x11 in the rear. There's also the massive blue brake calipers there. You'll notice MC20 on the side, and there's more gloss black or matte black in that lower section. So it matches the front of that bumper, where there's this huge cutout just behind that front tire. So that way you can get some more cooling and airflow through the side of the vehicle. This also has a body colored set of side mirrors and then gloss black for the entire roof. It goes all the way to the back there. And you'll notice too, there's even more vents behind the doors. So there's one in the upper section here to provide even more cooling. There's a fuel cap, another Maserati badge located behind that window. And then as we work our way to the back, there's carbon fiber for this upper spoiler here. Really nice integration to see. This does get 2 backup cameras. There's one underneath Maserati, and then the camera up top is for the rear view mirror. There's a third brake light is just underneath that. This also has LED taillights as well with a nice dark housing. There's more matte black, all the parking sensors, a lot of heat extraction vents located in the back, and then some fins in the lower section just to give it a great look. And then there's that center mounted dual exhaust, which is a really unique touch. Now with this being mid-engine, there is storage in the back. So you can use the key fob to double tap on that control, and that will release the back, where you can lift this up. We can get a look at that 3-liter twin turbo V6. And then you do get storage. So for a mid-engine vehicle, it's really neat to see that you have a little bit of storage in the back, not all that large, but for a vehicle like this, you can place in some small bags. It makes it a lot more practical to have even a little bit of storage like that. Now, as we work our way to the interior, this has a really cool set of doors. So when you pull on this, the entire door is going to open up that butterfly style, and on the back side, you can see all the forged carbon fiber. So it makes it for a lightweight door. Now on the door panel itself, you really only have the grab handle to close the door and the release to open it up. Since we have this vertical design, there's no storage bins or pockets in the door, but it has leather, all the blue stitching, all the Alcantara to give it a really nice look. And then you'll notice MC20 is down on the door sill with carbon fiber. And then there's a really nice set of leather seats with all the blue accents, and they are power adjusting. All of those controls are down on the side there. And then let's jump back to the storage up front. So on this left side, you have a hood release down below like normal, and then you do have a button for the rear trunklet area for the engine hatch. So you can use that if you need to, but by pulling on that one, it looks like we can open this up just like you would a normal hood. So you do get a little bit of storage up front. It's not a lot, as you can tell, we have some very small and narrow items. So if you have some small things, maybe you want to charge some items, you can, but there's really not all that much up front, just a little bit of extra if you need it. So it's nice to see that you have some access to some other components. And then as we hop in now, it's not all that hard to do. The door sill is very narrow, so it's not bad to just kind of sit down in here. And then once we are in, you have the grab handle here. We can easily close the door and then take a look at the beautiful steering wheel with all the carbon fiber and the Alcantara. And then we have the engine start stop over on this left side. Let's fire it up and take a listen to how this sounds. And then coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, you'll notice on the left side, there's the compass currently shown. There's also engine temperature. Right in the middle, there's miles per hour along with what gear you're in and the tach. And then on the far right side, there's the percentage for your brake and gas along with your fuel. Now to go through with some of this information, you can use the button over on the turn signal stalk. There's a menu control. So if I push on that, now we can toggle on that left side and we can look at some trip information, look at that compass again. If you hold on it, that is how you can view the map. So you can bring up the map in full screen, or you'll have some of that information on the left and the right side, but it's pretty cool to see that. So if you have the navigation or GPS going, you can pull that up in full screen. Now for the rest of these controls, over on the right side, there's volume, Bluetooth, and voice commands. There's also launch control. You do have to be in Corsa mode in order to activate that. On this left side, there's the engine start stop. You have your cruise control settings, and then the front end lift. You can quickly push on that or hold it in order to lower or raise the vehicle. You'll notice that icon in the upper left there while it is currently moving. There's also massive carbon fiber paddle shifters on both sides that are column mounted, so they don't move with the steering wheel. Now on this left side, there's the headlight adjustments, side view mirrors. There's also one air vent. And then as we work our way to the dash, there's a lot of leather there. And then we also have a pretty large infotainment system right in the middle. Now, if you'll notice, this is pulled straight from a lot of Maseratis. It looks very similar to some Dodge and Chrysler products as well. On the home screen here, you can pair your phone. You have music on one side. You can also pull up the rest of your audio, go into comfort, so you can go through your heated seats, all of your climate adjustments, fan speed, and all of that. You can also pull up the navigation, so you can have that in the middle. You can pair your phone to this system. And then if you go under vehicle, you have the screen off control. There's also the rear view camera that we can pull up, so you have a really good view for what's behind you. And then you can exit out of that, and that's pretty much it. So it does give you a lot for a supercar like this. Now there's also a little bit of storage down below, and then we have this rotary dial for different driving modes. So you can twist on it to activate sport mode. You can twist it for GT. There's also wet, and then this is how we can also get into the Corsa mode, which I just missed there. So just twist it to the right and hold on it. That's how you can activate Corsa along with launch control, and you have traction control there. You can also change the suspension as well. So you can go from mid to hard, and then once you exit back out of that, you can twist on this again to go through the driving modes, and then it looks like you can also go over and get back to your suspension settings there. So pretty neat to see that. There's also your drive and manual setting, and then reverse. What's interesting about this MC20 is that we are currently in park right now. There's no actual park control. So what you have to do is pull on both of the paddles. That will put the vehicle into neutral. From there, you can pull on the e-brake, which is located down below. Now from park, with my foot on the brake, I'll just pull on the right paddle. That will put us into drive, and then we can push on the D or M to put it into the manual setting as well, and then of course push on reverse to bring up that backup camera. So from here, I will need two hands. I will just pull on both of the paddles to put it into neutral. As you can see right there, pull on the e-brake, and that is how we can shut this off. Now down below, there's the window controls along with your lock and unlock. There's also volume and tuning. You get a tiny bin in the middle with some auxiliaries, so you could place maybe your phone there if you want to. There's also an area you could place the key too. You get one cup holder in the middle. There's a small storage shelf behind, so if you want to place some jackets or some other items, you can. This is a look at your visibility through the back window. It's actually not all that bad. You do have this massive pillar here, but you can clearly see out of that back glass. There's also Alcantara for the entire headliner. You get garage door buttons along with some dome lights, and then with the rear view mirror, you also get the 360 camera system, or that digital rear view. So that way you can get even more visibility from that. But you do have your side mirrors as well to help you out. On the passenger side, there's MC20, and then the glove box has additional storage. So very nice interior for this model. Well, let's go ahead and get it out on the road. All right, so as we set off behind the wheel for this MC20, this is going to be a short test drive, but this is going to be very fun to drive nonetheless. So as we get this out on the road, it definitely has a really nice feel to it from the driver's seat here. And I love the addition of the digital rear view camera there. With vehicles like this, a lot of people are always curious about their visibility. I've owned a lot of mid-engine vehicles. I've had a Lotus, 2 R8s. I currently have my R8. And this camera system is definitely helpful, especially if you're out on the highway, but I can easily see over this left side here. And then we have the large window in the back there. So it's really not all that bad, but definitely helpful to have that. These seats are also very comfortable too. And it's a little bit bumpy. I currently have it in the stiffer suspension. Actually, that's soft. So then we also have mid, which we can cycle it into as well. But this is a very nice car. No, I'm not going that fast. We'll give it a small acceleration here as we make a 3-point turn, but this feels very cool so far. All right, so turning radius is pretty good too. We'll give it a little bit of juice here. Well, let's put it into the manual setting from second gear. That is cool. You can hear the turbo sounds since they're right behind you there. That sounds pretty cool. Seems pretty quick for that small acceleration there, but it's not all that loud. It would be nice to see maybe some kind of exhaust note button to make it a little bit louder, but we do have the V6, so it's not going to be all that loud, unfortunately. But that sounds really good. Regardless, that sounds pretty good. For the test drive I'm doing today, you know, it sounds really nice. It's not all that loud, obviously, but at higher speeds, I think it feels like it's a pretty solid vehicle. So I don't think this is going to be something that is going to be obnoxious to drive. This seems like it would be a great grand touring type of vehicle, something that'll be really nice to drive, especially with the different suspension settings that you have. So you could daily drive this if you wanted to. It seems like it's going to be a supercar that has those creature comforts, that has the refinements that you're looking for. Maserati is a pretty well-known luxury brand, and it looks like they've done a really good job with this vehicle. As far as headroom goes too, I didn't touch base on that. I'm 5'10". I have about 2 or 3 inches of headroom, so you might be able to be a little bit taller than me. The seat doesn't go down much farther than this, so that is about it for it. But it seems very nice. Seems like we have a lot of space on the interior here as far as being comfortable, not being too confined or tight or anything like that. And then as far as handling goes, you know, for what I'm able to do here today, seems like it's pretty solid with the feedback in the steering wheel. So this is a really nice place to be. I like how we have some technology, some creature comforts here to make it more of a daily driver without having too much. So it's nice that we have the screen here. If you're familiar with Dodge or Jeep products, that is what you get from those models there with the contract that Maserati has with them. So it's pretty easy to go through, but it's nice that you have all of these amenities here to make this a great supercar to daily drive. All these materials just give it a fantastic look as well. So we'll do one last acceleration for today here. And that is about it. So that's going to wrap it up for the Maserati MC20. Definitely a really cool and unique vehicle to drive and check out. But once again, huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.